The Hawks got another expected win versus the Washington Wizards, 129-117. And it just seems as like last night, the Atlanta Hawks showed how they are starting to gel together. Yes, Trae Young was back in action for the Atlanta Hawks last night. DeAndre Hunter was also back in action for the Atlanta Hawks. And it just seemed as if Coach Quin, Snyder, and Landry Fields, they got this team back in where they want to be, and we've got to talk about everything. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Walter Pollard, and welcome to Atlanta Hawks Digest, and we have so much to get into tonight. Again, just want to say thank you all for watching this channel. We are at, 75 viewers, or I'm sorry, 74 subscribers. So we definitely want to try to get that number to 100, especially with the top of the year coming up. Definitely want to hit that number. So if you guys definitely like what you're hearing, definitely want to send this to somebody, hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And let's try to keep this page jumping as much as possible. Now, let's go ahead and just jump right into it, man. The game review, because you know, this was an expected game for the Atlanta Hawks. They were supposed to win this game. They were actually supposed to win the first two matchups that they had versus the Washington Wizards. And, you know, this was a game that was supposed to be won by the Atlanta Hawks, and that is what happened. Now, watching the game, of course, the first quarter, it just seemed as if Washington just stayed with what they knew, which was shooting the ball, and it was actually working versus the Hawks, which was somewhat frustrating and upsetting. But, of course, after the first quarter, the Atlanta Hawks got themselves composed. They got back under themselves, and they got things in order. The Atlanta Hawks did what they were supposed to do, man. And, again, I was excited to see such a thing, man. Let's go ahead and just jump right into of course, you know, the statistics, you know, Zaccharie Risacher with 11 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Major good job by him, of course, which is consistent. You know, we don't expect for him to have the 33-point game every game, but we definitely would like to see some consistency coming from him, and we're starting to see that, of course. 18 points for Jalen Johnson, 18 and 13, as a matter of fact, 13 rebounds and 18 points for Jalen Johnson. Clint Capela also followed that up with 13 rebounds and 10 points. Trae Young, he was back in action. And we got to stop really quickly to say really big shout out to Trae Young for hitting his 4,000 assist. You know, 4,000 assists all time for Trae Young, which is pretty good. That actually puts him at 125 all time. He's 5 assists ahead of Mo Williams, and I think he's about 6 away from Manu Ginobili. So again, just major shouts out to Trae Young for getting that as well. And then off of the bench, we also got to give a major shout out to Onyeka Okongwu, 13 points, 13 rebounds again. And then DeAndre Hunter, who is back with the Atlanta Hawks. He showed up last night, came off of the bench, of course, but 22 points off of the bench. 3 rebounds or something like that, but 23 points off of the bench, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do. Actually, he gave the Atlanta Hawks a bit of a spark when dealing with the Washington Wizards. Of course, in the first quarter, I mentioned how they were scoring, and they were scoring at will. It seemed as if they were doing very well from the three-point line. But, of course, DeAndre Hunter and the Atlanta Hawks settled in, and they got some things together. But somebody I definitely got to stop and talk about for sure was, that. We'll get into that. But we definitely got to talk about Dyson Daniels, because this gentleman, again, he never ceased to amaze me. Okay, Dyson Daniels is one of those players that I said earlier in the season was going to be a major X factor for the Atlanta Hawks, and he has done so. Okay, again, not only just that, I mentioned how he said he wanted to be the defensive. He wanted to be on the first team all defense for the NBA. I don't know why it's so hard to say that. But he said that in the beginning of the season, and I really feel as though he's on to something, because this guy he's unstoppable in a way. I mean, right now, Dyson Daniels actually has the longest streak with games of 15 points and 5+ rebounds, and that is actually since he's the first person to do that since Michael Jordan back in the 80s. Also, in the last in the last 4 games, he has 29 steals, which is actually a lot more than most players, because no one else in the NBA has more than 27 steals. So again, he's already leading the league in steals. He's already stepping up in a major way. Last night, again, Dyson Daniels had 25 points, 6 steals again, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. Again, another solid night by this gentleman, but again, he is able to steal the ball, and he just has a knack. It's almost like he's a ball hawk. That might be a good name, a nickname for him, the ball hawk, because he's always finding a way to get to the ball, to take the ball, and to get, just to get the turnover and get somehow something for the Atlanta Hawks to, get the ball back and, score some points. One of the things I definitely want to talk about with the Atlanta Hawks is more so rebounding. I mentioned how possession of the ball is very important in basketball. You get more possessions than the other team. You optimize your opportunity to score points and actually, break away, possibly get a good lead or something like that, or go on a run versus a specific team, especially when you're getting rebounds. And again, that is what the Atlanta Hawks are starting to do. They're starting to get healthy. Okay, I mentioned how the injury bug got to the Atlanta Hawks, and it got to the Atlanta Hawks early, but it just seems as though people are starting to get back in the right time is right now as well, because the Hawks definitely need it going on a Western road trip soon. Actually, their next couple of games is going to be on a Western road trip. So, of course, right now we need some more of these players to come back. You just saw Trae Young was returned, DeAndre Hunter, he also returned. So we definitely look forward to see V. Krejci return, Kobe Buffkin return, and yes, also Bogdan Bogdanović. We definitely love to see his sharp shooting back on the court, and we want to see some more of these guys in more of a healthier setting, because when you see that, it just seems as though it is a winning formula in the Atlanta area, and I am excited to see what else we can get from the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I want to point something out, okay, really quickly before I get out of here. I was mentioning how I got fooled, and I don't know if everybody else got fooled. I thought that the Atlanta Hawks, they were going to be releasing their new uniforms. Well, they did release their new uniforms. I was under the impression that they were going to release them in regards to the in-season tournament. I figured that the floor was going to be painted something different. Of course, I did not expect what we saw. I'm not in any way, upset about it. But of course, I was expecting for the Atlanta Hawks to show up, again with, blue or whatnot. But the court was awesome. Came in with the Waffle House yellow and different things of that such. So I was definitely fooled, and the reason I was fooled, of course, was because of they did bring out the new uniforms that they are going to be playing in, the new City Edition uniforms that they are going to be playing in, but that's besides the point. That's not necessarily tied to the in-season tournament. But, one could think, I thought that was what we were going to get. But instead, we got the nice floor. We'll definitely get the next time. We will see those uniforms, I think, will be versus the Dallas Mavericks, as a matter of fact, will be versus the Dallas Mavericks. So we will see those uniforms. We just won't see them in the in-season tournament. But that's besides the fact. Listen, the Atlanta Hawks are starting to get on the roll, and they're starting to look better. And I am excited. Definitely would like for you guys to stick around and make sure that you stay here for all of your info, all of the updates. And I'll definitely be up on these guys because, listen, the Atlanta Hawks are getting better, and I'm hoping that they can definitely make a run into the playoffs this upcoming year. But all that being said, this is Walter Pollard on Hawks Digest, and I'm signing out.